In the headlines, Dominica's health system praised as government launches pilot health insurance program, CBI funds to build homes in Cotton Hill for Lagos residents, and PSU awaits word on the next date for salary negotiations with government. I am Andrea V with the Channel 5 News details coming up. Thank you for staying with us. First up, Dominica's National Health Insurance Pilot Program has officially been launched. The program, which will cover young mothers and children 3 years and under in the first instance, is expected to be further developed to cover other categories of people. At the official launching ceremony on Monday, Prime Minister and Minister for Finance said the pilot health insurance program will seek to help the most vulnerable in society get the medical attention they need.
Not all beneficiaries of this program would have been contributors to its partial funding. But that is why we are fortunate in Dominica today to have the Citizenship by Investment program on which we can lean for support and sustenance from time to time. Because you will have seen in my budget address, I had indicated that a likely source of funds would have been the redundancy fund managed by the DSS. But because of rigmaroles here and there, I decided as Minister of Finance I will not subject the ordinary working class people to this. And that's why we utilize the Citizens by Investment funds. I do not want to live in a country that has beautiful, well-lit roads, aesthetically pleasing and structurally sound bridges, a new hospital, a new airport, modern housing, affordable education from nursery to tertiary, but whose poor and vulnerable are not adequately taken care of.
The $5 million for this pilot program, made available through the country's Citizenship by Investment program, were handed over to the Dominica Social Security on Monday.
As we know, illness is no respecter of persons. It can strike at any time, and when it does, the cost of treatment can prove rather burdensome, particularly in cases where the conditions may be critical or even life-threatening. The concept of the National Health Insurance Program, in some shape or form, is the required solution. That is why we at the Dominica Social Security are pleased to be associated with today's launch of this NHI pilot. Let me also assure you that in the weeks and months following today's formal launching, work towards the realization of the broader-based national health insurance is expected to continue in earnest.
The pilot National Health Insurance Program was developed through consultation with officials from the Ministries of Health and Finance, the Dominica Social Security, Pan American Health Organization, and the Health Economic Unit of the University of the West Indies. Meantime, the very first beneficiary of the pilot National Health Insurance Program, 3-month-old Adasia, is currently in Barbados receiving medical attention. Adasia was born with cataracts in both eyes and immediate surgery was recommended. Her mother, Alberta Etienne, who is also in Barbados, vouched for the pilot health insurance program.
After Dr. Ricketts explained to me everything and told me that she has to go to Barbados because she don't do that operation there. Okay. It was very hard at that point of time, financially especially. And one day I was home and then she called me, Dr. Ricketts, and she told me she's going to put my daughter on the medical pilot's insurance scheme. She told me that means they are going to pay 80% of the surgery she's going to do in Barbados, and I have to do the 20%. After hearing that, I feel overjoyed.
Minister for Health, Dr. Kenneth Daru, explained the workings of the pilot health insurance program.
The National Health Insurance shall pay up to 80% on the invoices and bills, and the other 20% shall be made by the claimant. Of course, in the case where the claimant shall not be able to pay, the amount shall be given as a small loan, and of course the repayment schedule will be arranged. In the extreme cases, the destitute cases, a government grant shall be provided on the basis, of course, of the recommendations of the Dominican Social Security. Also important, people with private health insurances, of course, shall first claim from the insurance before trying to access this national health insurance. And payments from both the Dominican Social Security and the beneficiary shall be made directly to the medical facility or to the service provider. So no one is going to have a check in their hand that they could use, that they're going to use to pay for other things. It has to be used to pay for the medical services.
In other top stories, government's plan to invest millions in a housing development in Cotton Hill is expected to address a substantial part of the housing needs confronting Lago residents. This means 70 homes will be built on lands at Cotton Hill for Lago residents. The Prime Minister, who is also Minister for Finance, told a town hall meeting on the weekend that because of land limitations, 2-bedroom units as well as apartments will be constructed.
And I've already approved $1.5 million for the roads to be constructed. And I've said to Minister Austria that I would like the roads to commence construction this month, the month of April, so that we can start the construction of those homes for the people of Lago. And I believe, as a result of our discussion, he held a meeting with local contractors.
The MP for the area, who is also the Minister for Housing, has already engaged the contractors for the job, which will include the provision of water. The Prime Minister says 70 lots already surveyed will be made available for immediate allocation. $2 million will be made available to ensure the provision of water, electricity, and roads.
And I give you the assurances that we will construct those homes. And I've said to the Minister that we need to appoint somebody from the area who will be the full-time coordinator of this project. Full-time coordinator. And I'm hoping that that person can be engaged almost immediately to hold papers and to coordinate all matters relating to these homes. And it is my intention for us to meet on a regular basis so that we can monitor the progress of implementation and keep the people abreast of what's happening.
The funds to be transferred to the Town Council will also cover road reconstruction to the Portsmouth Secondary School and Grange Home. A 22-year-old young lady with Down syndrome is the first learner with special needs to be enrolled in the Youth Division's Life Skills program. Edina John-Baptist has that story.
22-year-old Bianca has not experienced a lot of the activities enjoyed by normal children. She was born with Down syndrome and has led a very sheltered life. However, having her only child born with Down syndrome has not fazed Doreen Ashby.
Like I had to give up everything. I give up life, everything, just to be with her, to make sure she grew up in a safe environment.
Instead of hiding her daughter, Doreen has been adamant that Bianca can learn in a formal education setting.
My daughter now is in the youth center in Roseau, where she's doing life skills. Now they do computers, they do craft, they do cooking, and other things.
Just last year, Bianca successfully completed a 2-month housekeeping course offered by the Dominica State College, where a 2-week attachment was secured for her at Shea Ophelia's guest house. Even before that, Doreen would regularly call radio shows advocating for educational opportunities for people with Down syndrome, and in 2007, her daughter got her big break in the formal education system.
I had to go through some assessment done by the Ministry of Education. That time, Mr. Vincent Desson, the ambassador, was the Minister of Education, and he heard my cry, and he asked to do the evaluation so they could place her in a mainstream school to see how a child with Down syndrome could go through the mainstream school. So they gave her a teacher because I asked for special education for her. And she was in the Goodwill School. And then some little problem came up. I had to take her out of the school because there is no protection for them. You cannot blame the principal, you cannot blame the school.
Because of Bianca's mental impediment, her mom says at 22, Bianca is like a 6-year-old.
There are people who willing overseas to help us. The Ministry of Education would have to come on board. And there is ready support lacking.
Okay. Why have you not given up on this fight?
I cannot give up on it because all my life I've been working with my daughter, which is Bianca. And I seen the potential in Bianca, but she just needs the support.
At the Roseau Youth Center, Bianca is considered a visual learner.
Working with her has been really good. I mean, she's been improving, which I know, and she's been doing good in her reading so far, and she's been learning to interact with other students. So she learned a lot here, I must say. Well, learning English, she's learning maths, she's learning how to cook, she's learning to do arts and crafts. I've dealt with other students with disabilities, such as speech impaired, and Down syndrome also is one, as you know, we're talking about, and autism. So yes, so I have a lot of experience in strength and disability. I'm willing to work with other students, and I'm willing to help Bianca further herself, and I want her to be more independent.
For Emmanuel Griffith, Bianca can be a great inspiration with her level of dedication.
If she had ever had a chance to present or to have the ability to do her work, which is tools and materials, yeah, I think with her capacity and her illness, she wouldn't let that hold her back. And if she get her hands to do those kind of work on her own, with her talent, I think she have, and she is the kind of person now, she's very into what she does. You could tell from when she would tease me when Bianca come and make a bed, she be putting her makeup, right? Bianca come and do this, she be, you know. But then when she put down the phone and the makeup, it makes me see now, if she's that interested in making herself look nice, right? She'll put that same effort and work into her leather stuff she make.
Idona John Baptist, Channel 5 News.
Coming up, we explore the possibilities of a market for Dominican music in Nigeria. Welcome back. Developments in Dominica's healthcare system have come under high praise from a regional health organization. Peter Cowley of the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, says Dominica ranks very high in primary health care in the region, and developments on the Princess Margaret Hospital and Marigot Hospital are commendable.
Dominica is known for its primary health care structure. I know it quite well. Not only do I work for a Dominican at the head of PAHO, who is critically involved with the primary health care movement here, but this is where you punch, another area where you punch far above your weight is in primary health care. You're upgrading your hospital. I've seen the numbers. I've been on 2 or 3 different occasions to Princess Margaret, and I see that the new National Hospital is moving forward. I've seen the floor plans. I know them quite well. And it is truly impressive what the hospital is going to deliver.
The PAHO representative was speaking at the launching of the country's pilot national health insurance program and says this pilot is a clever and practical means of achieving universal health care.
It's saying we're trying to protect those that are vulnerable. And funny enough, when a child and a mother have a good, healthy few years, they're going to be healthy kids. This is the future. In a way, we're protecting against poverty, or falling deeper into poverty, or falling into poverty, and we're protecting our future because we're protecting mothers and children. So again, I applaud such an absolutely bold maneuver. Every country has its own path to universal health. Your path seems to be through this national health insurance scheme that's being launched today. Clever and also practical. because this is a big building block towards national health insurance into the future.
General Secretary of the Public Service Union says negotiations related to salaries on behalf of public servants have not broken down, and they are still waiting word on a next meeting with government on the matter. Thomas later says his executive awaits a response on a request 2 weeks ago for a meeting on March 30th with the Chief Personnel Officer.
We wrote to the CPO requesting a meeting today. Our letter has not been acknowledged, not even a telephone call. And you know, this is something that we are not going to accept. That one side decides when you want to meet, you decide what are the issues you want to discuss, and you decide who you want to be at that meeting. We are
Despite government's wage freeze proposal, the PSU is also seeking responses on its proposal on other non-salary benefits for public servants. Later has also expressed concern with an upcoming cabinet discussion with trade unions and other stakeholders on the state of the economy.
We have seen that if the government wants to have a discussion with us, we also have a right to see what are some of the items that we want to discuss. So it cannot be the government deciding what the agenda is. We have to have an input as to what should be on the agenda. We are negotiating on equal terms. We are equal in all aspects of negotiations. And no party or no group has more authority when it comes to negotiation than the other one. And we are saying that if the government wants to meet with us, we have to have a say on what the agenda is going to be, when the meeting is going to be held.
An agriculturalist has expressed confidence in the IMF's prediction that the agriculture industry will recover this financial year. Executive Secretary of the Dominica Hucksters Association, Cecil Joseph, says by the looks of it, agricultural production is on the verge of picking up.
I agree with the report of the IMF that we should see a positive impact in agriculture. So I am optimistic because a number of things are happening, whether planned or unplanned. We recognize that all the communities in Dominica are receiving financial support to do business. We recognize that fertilizer has been coming in last year and coming in this year, and fertilizer is what you put in the ground to increase production. And so whether by default or whether planned, there could be a bumper agricultural crop this year.
And there is already a surplus of dasheen on the market.
We have large quantities of dasheen. I think we have more dasheen right now than we are able to consume and export. That hasn't happened for a long time. And so for all of this year, all of 2017, we've had a lot of dasheen. Our yams went out, but we expected yams to have come back in from mid-March, and right at this point in time, we see the volumes of yams is increasing. The volume that are available for export is increasing.
Joseph says this is good news considering last year's low production due to crop diseases including black sigatoka and the impact of Tropical Storm Erica in 2015 and Matthew in 2016.
Barring climate change, barring factors which are beyond our control, I think we can make it. Because remember, sometime in 2016, we didn't know what to do with bananas and plantains, and all of a sudden they went, and we're back to zero. It's coming back up, and so we had some mistakes last year. We do not want to repeat it this year.
And the possibility of Dominican music making it big on the Nigerian market is being explored. President of the Association of Music Professionals, AMP, McCarthy Marie, says an interested party willing to provide exposure in the West African country has approached his organization.
So it will be in individual producers and or artists who have their recordings would have to evaluate the proposals and sign up or not. What we will do as AMP is do some of the due diligence, find out how genuine the whole operation is, whether they're known by the Copyright Society in Nigeria. We have the address, where we can check the Nigerian embassy to Dominica, which I think is based in Trinidad, to as much information as possible to know what and who we're dealing with. So we will pass that information on to the record producers here, who would be then left to make their decisions to proceed with them and sign a contract or not.
He says the export potential is significant when viewed as part of AMP's partnership with European media house TRAS.
Things are kind of clicking together because, as we said there, TRAS, the station we're talking about, is available in Nigeria. So which means that an artist who gets his video played on TRAS is visible in Nigeria. Now the people in Nigeria might say, I like that song, I'd like to buy it. Right now, probably can't buy it. But if we had the hookup with these people and they are genuine, then there's a possibility that the publicity you're getting from TRAS converts into sales because somebody has it for sale in Nigeria.
That's news. Your sports highlights next with Kenny Williams.
First up, West Indies lost to Pakistan by 7 wickets in the fourth T20 on Sunday. The home side took first knock and reached 124 for 8. Chadwick Walton contributed 40 with an unbeaten 37 from Carlos Brathwaite. With the target set at 125, Pakistan replied with 127 for 3. Ahmed Shehzad 53 and Babar Azam 38. Kesrick Williams took 2 for 16 and Marlon Samuels 1 for 11. Previously, West Indies won the third T20 by 7 wickets. Final scores from that encounter: Pakistan 137 for 8, West Indies 138 for 3 in 14.5 overs. Pakistan won the series 3-1. Meantime, West Indies have dropped opener Craig Brathwaite from their ODI squad against Pakistan, while Carlos Brathwaite is set to depart for the IPL at a crucial time when West Indies needs a chance at automatic World Cup qualification. The ODI squad reads Jason Holder captain, Devendra Bishu, Jonathan Carter, Miguel Cummings, Shannon Gabriel, Shai Hope, Alzari Joseph, Evan Luis, Jason Mohammed, Ashley Nurse, Chadwick Walton, Kiran, and Ravman Powell. All 3 ODIs will take place in Guyana beginning on Friday. Next up, President of the Dominica Olympic Committee, Felix Wilson, weighed in on the ongoing controversy coming out of the March 30 annual general meeting. The event had been the talk of the local sporting community since then. Previously, Wilson refrained from commenting on the matter. However, recently, he had this to say at the opening of the 2017 basketball season.
And I should tell you, because you may have heard it on the airways, that the Dominica Olympic Committee, a reputable, august body, is going through a lot of turmoil by greedy, very greedy people and very dishonest people who say all sorts of things on the press and they are believed. But I have confidence that for one affiliate, basketball, you are in very good hands with Jerry Williams and his team.
He also weighed in on the subject of the Athletes Commission and the disruption that occurred at the AGM.
We are mandated to have an Athletes Commission. But guess what? When at a recent meeting on Thursday, of the Dominican Olympic Committee, where all affiliates are invited, the body had to endorse the Athletes Commission. And regrettably, there were some rabble-rousers who disrupted the meeting, behaved very uncharacteristic, shamefully in front of young people, and they did not endorse the Athletes Commission. These agitators, they want to put foolish athletes forward who will not know how to think, so that these athletes may vote for them. That is what they're anxious about.
Meantime, Fast Cash Prowlers started off the season on a high when they took down former champions Detroit Blazers 16-11 in the Ballarama. Prowlers also won the Ballarama of the previous year. Marlon Hillier of the Police Sports Club got the award for Most Valuable Player for the Division 1, while Kewan Thomas of Fashion Line Falcons was the Premier Division's MVP. Back with more cricket, there were wins for Marino, Summit Sports Club and Starlights in action from the leagues of the Dominica Cricket Association on the weekend. In the Dominica Cricket Academy versus Marino match, where Marino won by an innings and 7 runs, Marino took first knock and scored 173 all out. Michael Joseph reached 61 with 36 from Terrell Tousse and 35 from Taj Tavernier. John Luis took 5 for 41. In reply, Marino scored 290 all out. K. John Luis had a game high of 105 and Burton 81. Batting a second time, Academy scored 110 with 53 from Taj Tavernier. S. Dorset took 4 for 11. In another match, we had Summit Sports Club defeating Gladiators Sports Club by 60 runs. Summit batted first and scored 246 all out in 38 overs. John Ross Regis 39 and Jesse Badwell 28. Kenny Jean took 4 wickets. Gladiators, chasing 247 for victory, scored 188 in 18 overs. Fabian Etienne 109 and Jay Marshall 22. Nicholas Bruno 5 for 51 and John Ross Regis 3 for 15. And Starlight Sports Club won by 153 runs against Mahu United. Starlights took first knock and reached 335 for 6. Daryl Isles contributed 82, Kerwin Brumant 76, and Miguel Woodman 71. In reply, Mahu scored 182 all out in 25.5 overs. C. Alphonse added 80. Sports continues with this item where 27 football coaches here will get a chance to further their skills and become regionally and internationally certified, complements a 4-day CONCACAF D-licensed coaching course which began on Monday. This as the local governing body on the sport continues to support the club licensing initiative.
This course that you are participating in here today comes at a very opportune time, which coincides with the start of the 2017-2018 football season, which is set to kick off in August. Also, it ties in nicely with the club license initiative, which was implemented at the start of the 2016-2017 football season. This means that clubs participating in the league during the next season will have access to qualified and certified coaches, which is prerequisite for participating in the league.
The 4-day program is being facilitated by instructors Marco Santillan and Etienne Silly. Meantime, Goodwill Runners hammered Bomber Starlights 15-0 in the Domlec Women's League on the weekend. Maosoka Strikers edged out New Generation 1-0. And in the Under-15 Boys Zonal League, Central Overcomers and East Jaguars played to a 1-all draw. South Stars United beat Central Young Ballers 2-0. Western Young Stars bested North Strikers 2-0. That's all the sporting highlights for now. I am Kenny Williams. Join us next time.
We check in now with the Met Office for the latest weather updates.
Good evening. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am Janet Macpherson. A high-pressure system was the dominant feature today, resulting in generally fair weather conditions across the eastern Caribbean. Visible satellite imagery showed partly cloudy skies across Dominica this afternoon. Radar imagery indicated some scattered showers across the Leeward Islands. The weather for tonight: fair to partly cloudy and hazy with isolated showers. These conditions are expected to continue into tomorrow, with temperatures peaking up to 32 degrees Celsius. Seas tomorrow, moderate in open water, waves peaking up to 7 feet. Looking ahead for the next 3 days, fair to partly cloudy skies and hazy conditions are expected to continue into Wednesday. Throughout the Caribbean tomorrow, a relatively dry and stable atmosphere will favor generally fair weather conditions across the island chain, with some scattered showers expected across the Leeward Islands. On the international cities forecast, thunderstorm activity expected in New York, some scattered showers forecasted for London, while fair weather conditions are expected in Miami, Caracas, and Beijing. Sunrise tomorrow at 5:58 a.m. and sunset at 6:19 p.m. For up-to-date weather information, please call our weather hotline at 447-5555 or visit our website at weather.gov.dm. Thank you for viewing and have a good night.
To end the news, the headlines again. Dominica's health system praised as government launches a pilot health insurance program. CBI funds to build homes in Cotton Hill for Lago residents. And PSU awaits word on the next date for salary negotiations with government. Feel free to contact us at news@MarpinNewsApril3rd2k17. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis, and to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us tomorrow.